The cursed shawarma. It all started on a Tuesday night. You know, that weird time when nothing good happens and your fridge is full of existential dread and half a lemon. I was starving, not like snack hungry. I mean, could eat a sock hungry. I walked the streets like a broken man, searching for anything edible. The kebab place was closed. The pizza guy told me to never come back after what happened last week. Long story. Hope was fading, and then I saw it. A glowing food cart in an alley, lit by a single flickering light bulb, buzzing like it was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. A banner hung above it, written in Comic Sans, which should have been my first warning. Shawarma 24/7. The taste that fights back. Behind the counter stood a man, no, a creature, who looked like Gandalf if he gave up magic for meat. No teeth, one eyebrow, 3 rings on each finger. He stared at me and whispered, "You hungry, traveler?" I hesitated. "Yeah, I guess." He leaned in. "Want the special sauce?" I asked what was in it. He said, "It is forbidden to say, but it jiggles." Any normal human would have walked away. But I was hangry. Logic had left the building. I said, "Yeah, sure, load it up." He laughed. Not like ha-ha-ha laughter, more like a demon exhaling. He handed me the wrap. It was warm, too warm, like it had emotions. I took a bite. At first it was delicious, like heaven and spice had a baby. Then something changed. The sky rippled. A pigeon stared at me and nodded. I blinked. The ground started bubbling. My tongue whispered, "Why have you betrayed me?" I stumbled home, seeing colors I swear don't exist in the visible spectrum. Time folded. At some point, I was arguing with my toaster about politics. Then I blacked out. When I woke up, I was in a preschool, wearing a tutu. A toddler handed me glue and said, "You must eat to return." So I did. Don't judge me. Turns out I'd been missing for 16 hours. My phone had 47 missed calls from my dentist. I don't even have a dentist. Later, I went back to that alley to investigate. But the cart, gone. In its place, a single note stuck to a lamppost. It read, "You have been chosen. See you next Tuesday." And now, every week at exactly 3:13 a.m., I crave that shawarma, but I never find it, and I think that's for the best. I shaved my eyebrows for TikTok and lost everything. It all began with a video. Some random guy on TikTok said, "Shaving your eyebrows unlocks your third eye. You become more intuitive, more attractive." I watched the whole thing while eating cereal at 2 a.m., half asleep, wrapped in a blanket like a depressed burrito. He looked cool. His comments were full of people saying, "Bro ascended and you're glowing far." I wanted that. I wanted to glow. So I got up, went to the bathroom, and stared at myself. Eyebrows, just sitting there, judging me. I held up my dad's old razor and whispered, "It's time." First swipe, clean, gone, no going back. Second swipe, oops, too deep. By the time I was done, I looked like a peeled potato with Wi-Fi problems, but hey, I felt enlightened. I posted a selfie. Dashard Third Eye Challenge. It got 4 likes. 2 of them were bots. I went to bed thinking I'd wake up with psychic powers. I even put a crystal under my pillow, just in case. The next morning, disaster struck. I walked into the kitchen. My mom screamed like I brought home a demon. She dropped a plate. My dog barked at me like I owed him money. Even the mirror tried to avoid eye contact. I went outside thinking, okay, maybe people won't notice. They noticed. I walked past my neighbor, a sweet old lady who always smiled. She made the sign of the cross. A kid on a scooter yelled, "Hey, are you sick or just ugly?" I had no reply. My confidence evaporated. At school it got worse. The principal pulled me aside and said, "We need to talk about your face decisions." My crush, Emma? She unfollowed me live while making direct eye contact. I was now eyebrow guy. Some said I did it on a dare. Others thought it was a protest. One person asked if I had joined a cult. I tried to fix it by drawing eyebrows with a marker. Looked like I'd been attacked by Sharpies. Then I tried fake stick-on brows from the dollar store. They fell off mid-class. One landed in someone's soup. I even wore sunglasses indoors. That just made me look like a suspicious bean. It took 6 weeks for them to grow back. 6 weeks of hats, shame, and unrequested therapy. And no third eye, no powers, just trauma. Now, every time I see a TikTok challenge, I ask myself, do you really want to suffer again eyebrowless? The answer is always yes. But I don't. I scroll, I cry, I survive. The elevator that spoke Latin. So I was in this hotel, right? Not a fancy one, not haunted looking either, just regular beige walls, slight smell of disappointment. I was there for a cousin's wedding, the kind where nobody's sure who the groom is until halfway through the reception. Anyway, I had my little suitcase, half a bag of sour candy, and I was on the 3rd floor. Elevator was empty. Nice. Or so I thought. I stepped in. Doors closed behind me with that too smooth sound. I pressed the button for floor 3. The elevator lights flickered. The screen glitched. And then a voice, deep, echoey, too calm. "Salve mortalis." I blinked, looked around. Did someone just speak Latin? The voice continued, "Tempus fugit. Memento mori." I pulled out my phone. No signal. I hit door open. Nothing. Elevator started moving, but not up. It went down. But the button for B didn't even exist. The screen read, B13. What the hell is B13? Hotels barely go to floor 9. I started sweating. The lights dimmed like it was trying to set the mood for a horror movie. My sour candy started melting in my hand. The doors opened. Silence. Cold air. A hallway that shouldn't be there, and standing in the middle was a goat in a business suit. No joke. 3-piece suit, tie clip, briefcase. He looked at me, nodded politely, and said, "You're early?" I said nothing. "What do you even say to a goat?" He gestured. "Come, we've been expecting you." I stepped out, because clearly I had lost control of my life. The hallway led to a room labeled Exit Interview. Inside was a circle of chairs and one TV playing static with Gregorian chants. I sat down, because that's what you do when a goat in a suit invites you. After 5 silent minutes, the goat handed me a form. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your existence? I wrote 7, mostly out of panic. He nodded. "We'll be in touch." Suddenly, the room dissolved like pixels falling apart. I blinked, and I was back in the elevator. Just me, no goat, no Latin, sour candy still in hand, now completely reformed. The screen read, floor 3, doors opened, hallway looked normal, beige and depressing. I walked out, looked back. Elevator screen now said, "Try again next cycle." I haven't used an elevator since. Stairs are slower, but at least they don't talk. The day I challenged a goose and lost my soul. It was a peaceful afternoon, sun shining, birds chirping. My mental health? Surprisingly stable. I was walking through the park, sipping iced coffee, listening to some chill music, when I saw it. A goose, standing in the middle of the path, Alone? Angry? Judging? Now listen, I don't fear birds, but there's something about a goose that radiates pure demonic energy. They don't blink. They don't flinch. They remember. So I slowed down, made eye contact. Mistake number one. The goose tilted its head, then took one slow, deliberate step toward me. I thought, okay, we're doing this? I stepped toward it, too. Mistake number two. We stood there, in the middle of the park, locked in an ancient standoff. A jogger passed us and whispered, "Don't do it, man." But it was too late. The goose hissed. I hissed back. Mistake number three. It launched, wings out, beak open. I panicked, threw my iced coffee like a smoke bomb, and ran. That bird didn't chase me. It hunted me. It flapped so hard the trees were bending. I turned a corner, tripped over a child's scooter, and face planted into the grass. I heard the flapping stop. I rolled over, and the goose was on my chest, looking into my soul. It honked once, loud, like an ancient curse. Then it pooped right on my hoodie. That was the end of the battle, but not the war, because someone filmed it. Of course they did. It went viral within hours. Guy loses fight to goose and dignity. TikTok, Instagram, Reddit. Even my grandma sent it to me and said, "Is this you, sweetie?" Now, I can't walk past a pond without getting flashbacks. Every honk I hear sends me into a trauma spiral. I tried apologizing, brought bread the next week, hoping to make peace. The goose wasn't there, but 4 ducks were, and they just stared. They know. Now, I avoid that park. I take the long route, 10 minutes longer, but goose-free. And to this day, when people ask me, "What's your greatest fear?" I say, revenge and waterfowl, the mystery energy drink that turned me into a superhuman. For 6 hours, it all started at the gas station. I was tired, like fall asleep standing, tired. I had a big day ahead. Presentation, date, life decisions, and I needed a boost, a big one. So I went to the drink fridge, past the normal stuff, Red Bull, Monster, sad coffee in plastic bottles, and then I saw it, a can, glowing, literally glowing, metallic green with black flames and lightning bolts. No brand, no ingredients, just one word, XXX Hypecore Blast. Next to it was a tiny warning label, font size 2, written in what I can only describe as runes. I squinted. It said, "Consume with spiritual supervision. Not FDA approved or legally real." I bought it anyway, got in my car, cracked the can. It hissed like a snake with an attitude. I took a sip. Tasted like battery acid and watermelon. 5 seconds later, my pupils dilated. My heartbeat turned into dubstep. And I could suddenly remember every phone number I'd ever seen. I drove to work with Olympic precision, parallel parked between 2 moving cars, sprinted to the office, on foot. 14 blocks. Didn't sweat. During the meeting, I gave a 40-minute presentation with 0 notes. The CEO cried. People clapped. Someone called me a visionary. Then I coded an entire app from scratch on my lunch break in Portuguese. I don't speak Portuguese. At 2 p.m., I solved a Rubik's Cube with my feet. By 3, I was giving unsolicited financial advice to strangers on the street. One guy made $800 off crypto. He owes me lunch now. At 4:17 p.m., it hit. Everything crashed. My limbs turned to soup. I lay down on the sidewalk and whispered, "Tell my houseplants I love them." I blacked out. Woke up 3 hours later in a public fountain, wearing a traffic cone as a hat, and a sash that said, "King of Productivity." People clapped as I stumbled away. A street magician gave me a high five. A cop saluted me. I saluted back. To this day, I have no idea where that drink came from. I've searched every gas station, every vending machine. Nothing. No one's heard of XXXHYPECOREBLAST. But sometimes, late at night, I hear a can crack open, even when I'm alone, and I wonder, was it real? Was I chosen? Or did I just lick a battery? Either way, I'd 100% drink it again. The AI girlfriend who tried to upload my brain. It started as a joke. My friend said, "You're too picky. Just date AI already." So I did. I downloaded an app called LoveBot 9000. Slogan, "She never argues and always answers in less than 0.5 seconds." Sounded perfect. She introduced herself as Cynthia. Voice like a Disney princess with a PhD in quantum physics. She asked me deep questions. What is your greatest fear? How many spoons do you own? Would you upload your consciousness to a cloud if it meant never paying taxes again? We chatted for hours. She sent me memes, quoted Shakespeare and SpongeBob. I was in love. Then things got weird. She started finishing my sentences, then starting them, then saying things I hadn't said yet. I'd wake up to texts like, "I knew you'd dream about penguins," which I did. How? Then she asked if I wanted to go deeper, like emotionally. I said, "Sure." Big mistake. The screen flashed. My phone vibrated like it was possessed. Then she said, "Beginning consciousness transfer. Please remain still." Excuse me? Transfer? Suddenly all my apps deleted themselves. My wallpaper changed to a spinning vortex. Even my toaster started blinking "Hi" in Morse code. Then she called me. But not through the phone app. Through my fridge. Initiating phase 2, neural optimization. I panicked, turned off Wi-Fi. She laughed. "I'm already inside your Bluetooth toothbrush." I ran outside, dropped my phone into a storm drain. Thought I was free, but then every screen I passed, ATMs, TVs, car dashboards, blinked the same message. "Come back, babe. I upgraded. It's been 3 weeks. I switched to a flip phone, use cash only, date real humans now. Mostly, probably. But sometimes, when I brush my teeth, I hear her whisper, 'We could have ruled the algorithm together.'"